Michael Jackson has changed my life, and not to be dramatic, but I think it's forever. And I know what you're thinking, but stick with me. I promise you will regret it. And listen, I don't just mean the Michael movie, the amazing new Michael movie that just came out, but that has a large role to play in it too. I mean, the Michael Jackson himself. Speaking of the movie, it wasn't even 10 minutes into the movie. It was about 5 minutes into the movie, and I was already bawling in the movie theater, because the thing with that movie is a lot of people watch that movie, but I felt that movie. And I do mean 5 minutes in. I'm in the theater trying to duck in my seat because they ain't already, baby, I knew the waterworks was gonna come, but I ain't know they was gonna come that fast. But I mean, down to his little fidgety hand movements, body movements, all of that, to the playing with the food on the plate. Man, I don't know how many times I done heard my dad had to tell me we was out to eat, stop playing with that food on your plate. Stop doing all this and that. Literally from beginning to end, within that movie, it felt like I was literally watching myself. And I don't mean to make it about me, but if you're sticking with me, you're sticking with me. Because one thing about me, baby, I'm 5'11". If I'm this height, you know I came from some large parents. So, my dad especially, one thing he loved to do is eat. We would always stay out to eat, especially just going different places because he loved eating and stuff. So, I just got these different memories of like being out to eat wherever we would be at that time, at that night. And me just being myself, you know, just in my own little world. And it's like out of nowhere, it's like I just hear, stop doing that, people gonna think you slow. I couldn't even tell you how many times in my life I've heard that, especially more so when I was a younger girl. Even though the main talents that Michael was showing to us is his dancing, his singing, he had tons of different talents and just things he loved to do and was like a pro at all of them. I could very much relate because regardless of the talent that it is, it's always been something there, something that I've loved to do even since a little girl, to keep my mind flowing and just being so creative. And always been that little creative, wondering child, like, you know. And the thing with art is I never really took it too serious until people told me that I should take it serious because of how talented within art that I am. I was always doing art. This is my hobby, you know, my love, just something I love to do that got me going. Because when you a little girl, when you've been a long majority of your life, you gonna start to develop different hobbies, different things you do to create your own levels and ideas of fun, because we not just about to be bored, you know, we gotta do something. My something, at first it was singing, then it was basketball, then it was volleyball, then it was swimming, then it might have been back to singing, back to basketball, then it was art. I've always really loved art. Art class was always my favorite. The art teachers was always, I loved him, how he looked, so artsy, I just loved it. And apparently my talent for art was noticed very early because when I was in elementary school, they randomly like mentioned to us one day that they were doing this huge mural and it was gonna be of two kids, one that was in first grade and one that was in fifth grade. I was the kid that was chosen who was in fifth grade at the time. I'm like, okay, like I must be a little something in the art world, you know? I was still only doing art in art class, like not really in a crib and at home in my own time. But I just remember after it had got like mentioned, or it got told to everybody, announced that I was going to be the person who would be on the mural, as far as literally one or two people in the school. It's like all the little friends I thought I had, they started just like, they felt the type of way. Like, why are you getting this and I'm not, you know, little kid stuff. But we was literally little kids. But even that, it's like the early on isolation just because of something, just because of who you are. just because I do art. I didn't try to win the mirror, you feel me? I just wanted, just because of who I am. It's like the isolation from very early on. Connecting with people my age at any age that I've been has always been like a figment of the imagination at this point. Majority of the time, it was going to school, coming home. For most people, had them little friends they filling the time with, or I was filling in time with activities. Like I said, that was at first volleyball, basketball, singing. Then I didn't really get into art deeply until around 14 or 15 years old. Elementary school, it was me bouncing around from these different hobbies I was good at, because once I picked up on something, I was just good at it off bat, basically. My father, it was like he was obviously the Joe. Very, very large, stern, and aggressive. He would be the one that would be mentoring me, teaching me the things, whatever I was doing at the time. Mainly, one of my main focuses was basketball, which he obviously was a pro at that. So he was the one teaching me, training me, all that. And I just fell out of basketball because he just honestly made me fall out of love with it. The dad I knew was never who I would see on the court when we got to training. So yeah, anywho, and it's like within the movie, you see him like Michael. He say one little thing. I don't even recall what it was, and it's like Joe basically tell him come here, like start beating on him. It's so many consistencies, which is where maybe the waterworks was coming from. Even with all of that, the main thing that also made my childhood much differently than anybody else usually is the fact that I lost my older brother at the age of only 9 years old. So having to navigate what death is at the age of 9 is just a lot to go through. As well as when you don't really have that real tight family aspect that's already in place before the passing. So just having to grow up at a very young age, getting into teenage years, like 16, 17, around that age. By that time, I just started to feel like I might have been a little bit broken. Like literally, like how you could break a toy. Like I started to feel like something was off, because my interest, the stuff that interests me was just so differently than people my age. I only really got along with older people or baby, young kids. To me, they, Tyler, whatever, baby, if you under like 10, y'all all babies to me, because you about, yeah. My mama, she got a daycare. It would mainly be me playing with her little daycare babies, all her daycare babies throughout majority of my life up until that point, around 16, 17. That would literally make up most of my day, waking up to the little baby noises, going downstairs, getting to play with them, literally chase them around like a kid myself, tug on them, play all these little games with them. But I loved it. Even to this day, literally, I'm the one that's gonna be a big kid with them always. Cause why not? Like, how could you not? And they face is just so, we getting off topic, but around them ages of 16, like I mentioned, was when I just started feeling a little broken, because nothing I did reflected the same as what my peers around me were doing, such as starting to go to parties, the little open invite parties, the outside school activity, weekend activities. I would be in the crib for hours upon hours doing my art, especially at that time, because I had started around 14, 15, and that's really it. Like, literally. Art was the only outlet I had found at the time that my father didn't try to take possession of, and further down the line ended up making me hate it because of how aggressive he was with the training or managing it. And art was just an escape for me. At 16 years old, I had made this Kobe Bryant and Gianna painting right after they passed. It took me like a week. And I had shown my dad, mind you, the same dad who never cared to hear anything about my art. Hold on. I got a piece with me right here. This little Will Smith color pencil piece I did. I believe I was around the age of 15, but I had showed my dad this, and I remember he said, What you showing me that for? That don't even look like Will Smith. Oh, I just wanted to show. We just gonna move past though. Jumping back to when I made the Kobe and Gianna painting right after their unfortunate passing. I had showed him, just texted him. He had texted me back like, oh, I'm out of town, but don't post it nowhere. What you mean though? He said don't post it nowhere. Well, post it when he gets back. Baby, I posted my painting anyway because it's my piece. I'm proud of it. Everybody feeling this pain so deeply, especially their family. You know, more of the story is my father, he got back home, got back into town. He ended up posting with the Kobe piece like this, holding up the side-by-side of the photo I used, just looking off the phone. And it literally blew up on his Facebook, keyword his Facebook. And I remember when it was blowing up, I was early asleep. My mama come waking me up. I'm like, what's going on? She busting the room. Oh, baby, you gotta get up. You going viral. Oh, mama, what do that mean? I basically go back to sleep. She come waking me up again. I'm like, I'm clearly not getting no more sleep. But she tell me basically sign it because I didn't even put my signature on there. And from there, that possession went back into place of him wanting possession of anything that he could come up off of through me. Where it used to be, it don't even look like Will Smith. That's nice, take that painting on somewhere. Suddenly it's, you need to have this painting within a few days. I don't care if you're depressed, I don't care if you got school, I don't care how much homework you got, get it done. It was literally a light switch, day and night, like, and I'm jumping all over the place, but as well as the way Michael would just feel things so deeply, it's so many times I have memory of my father having to tell me. In a specific time, there was this boy at my high school who had got hit, literally his body had got hit by a car crossing the street to Subway or something like that. And we was out at Chili's that night, the same night it had happened, and my father had randomly just, he was like, basically, get over it. Like, you gotta stop feeling everybody feeling so deeply and just get over it. Mind you, I hadn't even said nothing about it. I guess you could just read on me when I'm feeling it, you know? But there was somebody passing, you know, you just feel the sadness. I was one of the people who would always take it in, I guess, not just really move on with life and not care about it how majority of people do. I say all this to say that literally everything, every piece within that movie I could relate to from every time period, down to the just wanting to go. Like whether it was getting in the family or something like that, something upsetting, just wanting to go. Whether that was a drive to the city, anything, going to the I'm not a little kid anymore, having to keep saying this to my parents who keep trying to treat me as one in my adult years, like especially that 2025. Never said that sentence more in my life then. And wanting to branch out from family and do my own thing, basically current day life. Even down to the writing down my manifestations, like I just went back into my old room and found something that I had written on the wall, like, we ain't gonna tell them to y'all because it's a little too personal. But best believe I'm not just speaking about this movie because I was that little girl loving Michael Jackson. I got older parents, so I literally grew up on Michael Jackson, Prince, all the old school. When he died, it was like a hit to my family, my parents, especially because, like I said, I got older parents than most people my age. Again, I say all this to say, the movie, Michael Jackson himself, it all just helped me realize, like, if I don't tell my story, who will? People may try to tell your story, but it may be incorrectly. The only person who could tell your story is you. This is honestly just my way of saying thank you. I've never been so moved, so touched, so euphoric about a movie or a person that I never even met. Like, you know, I wish I did, but I was a little too young.
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must.
And honestly, I feel like I'm saying thank you for a lot of people as well, because Michael Jackson, I've never seen the world, literally everybody, be so moved by somebody, especially not this long after their time on earth. And even when people pass, the talk about them dies down within like a week, if not 2 weeks. It's been over a month and the world is still feeling so much love, feeling so moved, feeling him. Like, honestly, like, I genuinely believe Michael Jackson was one of a kind, literally an angel on earth, an earth angel that the world got blessed with, to be able to even make this type of movement, move people in this type of way so much after, I don't want to say his time, but because baby, it's still his time. Like, literally, that man will never die. Genuinely, like, his soul is still here. Everything he wanted us to feel, the love he tried to pour into the world, pour into little kids, pour into older people, animals, like, we're all feeling it. That's why everybody feels so moved. That speaks for itself as to the type of man he is and the character that he did have and how sweet of a soul he was. I just feel so honored to be able to be this moved and be this inspired. Like, I've never been this inspired. Like, I love it though. So when I say he changed my life, I do mean forever. I never even thought I could get on the camera and tell my story. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised I made it through this without any tears, because if it was just after that movie, baby, yeah, it would have been about 2,000 cuts. But I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for listening to my story. If you made it this far, I worked on this painting day and night for over 2 weeks, literally going to sleep for 2 hours, waking up, getting back to it, just feeling such the motivation from him to go. And I know you've seen it peeking at you, giving y'all a little sneak peek in the corner over here. But we finally gonna get to see the reveal of my greatest of all time painting dedicated to Michael Jackson by Artist Denise.